The beginning of the world and the Creator's promise.
At the beginning there was nothing, only a great silence and my love filling everything. Then, with my voice, I began to create. I said, "Let there be light." And the light appeared, bright and warm, illuminating every corner. I separated the sky from the earth. I placed the sun to shine by day, and the moon and the stars to gladden the night. I formed blue seas and rivers that sang as they ran. The grass began to grow like a soft green carpet, and flowers painted the world with every color you can imagine: red, yellow, blue, and even some whose petals seemed to hold the rainbow itself. Then I filled the air with the song of birds and the murmur of leaves moved by the wind. I created animals great and small, elephants walking with calm steps, butterflies dancing as they flew, fish shining under the water like living jewels. Everything was full of life and joy, everything was perfect. But something very special was still missing, someone who could walk with me, talk with me, and care for everything I had lovingly created. So I took dust from the earth and formed it with my own hands. I shaped a man, and with a gentle breath gave him life. I called him Adam. I loved him from the very first moment and gave him a beautiful home, the Garden of Eden. There everything was good, abundant, and full of peace. Yet I still wanted Adam to have companionship, someone who could laugh and work with him. So I caused him to fall into a deep sleep, and from his side I formed the woman Eve. When Adam saw her, he smiled with a new light in his eyes. Thus they began their life together, happy in the paradise I had prepared for them. Every morning the sun peeked through the leaves of the trees and caressed Adam and Eve's skin with its warmth. They walked through the garden, picking sweet fruits that hung from the branches like dangling gifts. The air was filled with soft perfumes like jasmine and honey. The rivers of clear water were so pure they could drink directly from them and watch the fish play among the stones. I loved watching them care for the animals. Adam gave names to every creature: lion, giraffe, zebra, turtle. Eve laughed when squirrels ran up and down the trees and when birds landed on her shoulder as if they had always known her. They worked together, watering the plants, tending the flowers, and enjoying all that I had given them. There was never weariness or pain, only peace and joy. I walked with them in the cool breeze of the afternoon. I spoke to them as a father speaks to his children, and they listened attentively. One day, as we walked, I pointed out a special tree in the middle of the garden. Its leaves glimmered and its fruits were beautiful. I told them tenderly, "You may eat from every tree in the garden, but from this tree, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, you must not eat. If you do, you will know sadness and pain. Trust me, my children, for I want to protect you." One day, while Eve was walking near that special tree, the serpent appeared. With a cunning voice and sweet words, it told her that eating from that fruit would not harm them, but would make them wise like me. Eve looked at the fruit. It was beautiful and seemed so good, and her heart began to fill with doubt. I saw what was happening, and my fatherly heart felt a gentle sorrow, like when a child thinks they cannot trust you. Eve took the fruit, tasted it, and then gave it to Adam, who also ate. In that instant, something changed. Their eyes were open to see good and evil, and they felt naked and ashamed. They hid from me among the trees when they heard my steps. I called them, "Where are you?" Not because I did not know, but because I wanted them to speak to me. They came out slowly, heads bowed, and told me what they had done. My heart ached not because I wanted to punish them, but because I knew the world would no longer be the same for them. For disobeying Eden could no longer be their home. The earth, which once gave fruit easily, would now require effort and sweat to produce food. Pain and sorrow would also appear in the world. I explained with a gentle yet firm voice that they would have to leave the garden. Adam and Eve wept. They did not want to leave that place full of peace and beauty. And I too felt pain seeing them sad, but as a father I had to guide them into the life that now awaited them so they could learn and grow. However, I did not leave them alone. I made garments of skin to cover and protect them. Despite their disobedience, my love for them did not change one bit. I promised that one day I would send a savior who would defeat evil and restore our relationship. That promise was like a light in the midst of their sadness. They walked into the new world outside Eden. The days were no longer as easy and work sometimes wearied them. But they learned to sew, to build, to care for their children, and teach them about me. Each time they saw a flower or heard a bird's song, they remembered Eden and knew that I was still with them. I watched them every day, guiding their steps and caring for their family. Although they now knew pain, they also discovered hope, strength, and the joy of living in trust with me. They understood that my love had not ended because I continued to give them life and food. Eden was behind them, but my presence never left them. And though a difficult path lay ahead, I was already preparing the plan so that one day all my children could live with me forever in a place without tears or pain. My children, this story is for you to know how much I love you. I gave you all that is good and beautiful. And although Adam and Eve disobeyed, I never stopped caring for them. Sometimes as a father I must correct you, but I always do it to protect you and guide you toward what is best. I want you to remember that trusting me is always the safest path. Even when things seem difficult or tempting, I know what will bring you good and what will harm you. And even if you make mistakes, my love will never disappear, because you are my children. So live with joy, care for what I give you, and walk each day holding my hand. For just as in Eden, you will always live under my care and my eternal love.